I think that brings people together because, in my experience during the pandemic, it was my only way to communicate with my teachers, friends, and even my family. And that allows users to see some news and share theirs.
I feel that social media does not make people together nor isolates them. I believe that social media intensifies those relations a person had before, either good or bad.
In my opinion, it's a bit of both. On one hand, we all have connection, and on the other hand, the separation has been strengthened by intolerance between people because of having different opinions.
I think that both options is correct because social media like Facebook or Twitter communicates people in different countries across the world. But also, the social media put aside the people close to you. Like in the parties, everybody's with the cell phone and nobody talks.
Personally speaking, I think anyone can communicate with people who are far away, can find some places, food, or things they need.
I think that it brings joy to everyone, but it depends on where you are interacting and with who.
As I see it, some positive effects of social media are the connection between people from all over the world. For example, now we know the news from other countries and we can also stay connected with our family when they are in other places.
In my opinion, social media is very useful in many markets. Let me explain. On Facebook, people create groups to bargain for different things like food, clothing, service, work, etc. The advantage about this is that these groups have a lot of reach and any person can join these groups.
The worst thing about social media is the addiction they create in people because they use them more and more and start worrying about the things they share. For example, I meet people who get angry when their friends don't post something on their birthday or don't react on some pictures of them.
Well, it definitely takes much time that we used to be outside in person.
I have the impression that people take their opinion as the most important thing, and that is why we have fights with strangers about issues that aren't important to anyone. Besides, people have an addiction to being connected on social media, and that is not entirely good for mental health.
I strongly believe that social media is very addictive because everybody spends so much time on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
From my point of view, not entirely because we think about what people like before what we like, so they have some limits on their posts.
Some shares fake stuff, like spam. Others are just fake accounts or bots.
I think some people use social media to be the person they want to be, and that's not wrong, but the way I see it, it hurts people more than it helps them.
No, I'm under the impression that all the pictures, tweets, stories in social media is false. For instance, on Instagram, many people post photos about them and their perfect life. However, in the real life, most likely that person have depression and needs people's attention to be okay.
I start looking for that news in reliable sources on the internet, articles, books, or by asking people who knows the subject.
I should do more, but the only thing I do is to stick with people or companies that I can trust.
I'm sure that the most important thing to avoid spreading false information is to read other websites or read another opinion on the subject.
In my experience, when I notice that the post is fake, I share them saying, "This post is fake, don't believe that, guys," and report the page.
To end this conversation, I can comment that social media are good if they are used properly. That is, if schools are established for use and the user researches before believing what he sees in them and don't share fake news.
In my opinion, social media is not good nor bad. It is only a new way to interact, in this case, virtually. The good or bad has its source in our relations and environment, not in social media.
Well, in my opinion, social media help us stay connected, but somehow they have been absorbing us as individuals and dividing us as a society. We must learn to manage social media so as not to fall into false information or negativity.
If you ask me, social media is a very powerful source of connection between people across the world. Nevertheless, this can be dangerous for humans because it causes addiction to them and disease that could be bad to us.